Welcome into the Thursday edition of the Fun Astrology Podcast. Boy, we are 48 hours away from the big shift. You've heard the big shift in so many contexts. This one is the big shift. Hi, everybody. Thomas Miller on the Fun Astrology Podcast. Thanks for stopping by, and thank you to all of you who have registered for the practicum that we have coming up. Robert Glasscock and I are putting on this Horary Practicum on February 10th, the day after the new moon. As we announced yesterday, we've decided to open it up to everybody who can make it that day. You can join for free, but you do have to register. Go to funastrology.com, the top of the page, register, and we'll get you a Zoom link here in a short while. Now, let's talk about today and tomorrow's aspects, and then we're going to save tomorrow to talk about Saturday. So already the moon now has moved into Taurus. That happened at 3:11 this morning Eastern. That's significant because when the moon changes signs on Saturday, the last aspect before the 1 minute void of course, yes, whenever you have planets that close to 29 degrees, 59 minutes, you're going to have a short void of course, but it's going to be in a trine to the sun, not Pluto, because before the moon changes signs, the sun and Pluto conjoin. Only by about 10 minutes. But boy, that just changes the dynamic of this lunation through Taurus hugely. So if you have anything you want to accomplish that you would like some Taurian lunar blessings on, boy, knock it out today and tomorrow. Take action toward the objective. You got the moon on your side. Then Saturday, after that 1 minute void of course, the moon enters Gemini. Then about 10 minutes later, the sun moves into Aquarius, and then several hours later, about 10 hours later, Pluto enters Aquarius. It's interesting to me that the moon will be in Gemini when both of these planets move into Aquarius. Gemini is a dual sign, so let's just keep that in mind as things unfold. Now, we've been talking about these trines and sextiles in this current chart, and we have another aspect today. Mercury is exactly sextile to Saturn. That was also early, 3:50 this morning Eastern. Speaking of Mercury, tomorrow it trines Jupiter. There's part of that sextile-trine combination. That one is also early, 4:30 in the morning tomorrow morning. And then Venus tomorrow squares Neptune. That's at 10:50 tomorrow morning. So there's your lay of the land between now and Saturday, at least as far as exact aspects goes. What do we make of more trines and sextiles in the chart than squares? Well, hallelujah is the first thing I would say, because it means there's more cooperative energy in the chart than there is tension. And believe me, with what we have going on with the sun glued to Pluto and Pluto moving out of Capricorn, we've got a lot of built-in inherent energetic tension in the space anyway. So here is Mercury over about the next 24 hours in favorable aspects to both Saturn and Jupiter. Remember what we talked about yesterday. Jupiter expands, Saturn rewards. Let's look at them that way. What have you been working on diligently? That's Saturn. Apply that good mental energy to it and keep it going. What's expanding? Well, I'll tell you, one of the Jupiterian principles right now of expansion is, what are you focusing on? Where is your attention? Tomorrow morning's trine with Jupiter would be a great just little check-in to make sure that your attention is on the things that you want expanded. Good topics, good focus, good outcomes, good positive outlook on things. Remember, we've talked about Saturn and Pluto when they conjoined in January of 2020. In 1284, that same aspect in Capricorn brought the transition from the Dark Ages to the Italian Renaissance, the greatest period of history to be on this planet still. The last time those two were exact in Capricorn, 1584, the bridge from the Roman or Vatican oppression of both religion and politics to freer expression, freer ways to believe, and certainly political expansion from Rome to London, where the sun then never set on the British Empire, and the American Revolution of the late 1770s, where that British expansion, after 250 years, became corrupt, And from about 3,500 miles away, some little hot-headed colonists said to King George, "We're not paying your taxes, and come over here and do something about it." So whenever we mess something up, like has happened now, we go through the shift, often to fight for something better, and what's on the other side is infinitely better. So we keep our focus there. We have history on our side. We have patterns on our side, cycles on our side. Everything is pointing to, let's just get through this change, and it's going to be infinitely better. So I love, as we look at this chart, that I'm seeing things like these sextiles coming off of Saturn, going up to Mercury and Mars, and going over to Jupiter. Wow, what a combination. And a trine from Jupiter up to Mercury and Mars, and a trine from Venus to the moon today. And the moon and Jupiter will conjoin today, and throwing trines up to Mercury, Mars, and Venus. I mean, this is the energy of this chart. Now, the offsetting square, and it is big, is that during this ingress, the Sun and Pluto will be squaring Jupiter. That goes right back to the point. Be careful what you want to expand. Be careful what you're focusing on. And from the collective, that is Pluto of transformation, squaring Jupiter, in essence magnifying the impact of the impending shift. And that's a perfect cliffhanger, because that's where we'll pick it up tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening. I'm sending you all kinds of love through all of this, and we'll be along for the ride. Have a great Thursday. Back for TGI Friday, the Sun and Pluto entering Aquarius on Saturday.